So I wanted to put together this quick video for you guys to show some of you that are having some trouble with some of your logos, how you can actually work with these logos and make them the way that you want them to look. Now, we're working with an AI image here. What my boy PJ actually sent this over to me, which he made with an AI program, and it looks awesome. I love this logo. I think it looks dope. But we're going to actually work with it today, and I'm going to show you guys exactly how to get this thing ready for TeamBuilder so that it looks, optimized for your helmets, for your jerseys, whatever you want to use it for. So first things first, we're going to go to our magic wand tool, like we love to use so much. And, we already have the image rasterized, but if you need to rasterize it, just right-click on the layer itself and then hit rasterize. You won't see it here because I've already rasterized it, of course. But if I click in this dark area out here, you can see it's actually going to give me way more than what I want, okay? Because if I hit delete, you'll see it actually gets rid of all that area in the middle too. I don't want to do that, right? So I can actually just take a look at this image and see the reason it is selecting that dark area inside as well as the outside area is because it wants to merge this outside with the inside, because there's nothing cutting off this beige over here because we have this opening. This should be connected with this up here, right? This right here and this right here at the top of the A and then right behind the horns. But it's not. It's opened up because he's got like these, these pointed stripes behind him. We're going to close that off, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do that using our handy dandy pen tool, my boys. We're going to use the pen tool to close that off, merge the two images so that, Photoshop thinks it's one image, and then at that point, we'll be able to select the outside, and then we'll move on from there. But I'm going to show you exactly how to do that right now with the pen tool. So now we've got this in place, right? We've got this stroke on the outside in place, and we could even adjust the stroke a little bit. If I go back to the pen tool, maybe I'll make it a little bit smaller, just so that it matches the image a little bit better. And there we go. And yeah, I think it actually looks really good. So now what we're going to do is, as you can see over here in the layers panel, I now have something called shape, and then I have this, which I'll just rename this to Aggies. And boom, and as you can see, Aggies is spelled wrong because AI likes to do that. I'm going to show you exactly how to correct that as well. So, like I said, but we have this shape over here, which is just this stroke that we made, and then we've got the Aggies logo. So, I'm going to hold Shift to select them both, and then I'm going to right-click, and I'm going to choose Merge Layers, right? So now, Photoshop thinks that that's all one part of it's all one image, right? Now, if I select the layer, use the magic wand tool, as you can see, it only selects the outside because we've cut off that part of the image from the outside. As you can see, we've literally cut it off. It's not going, the magic wand tool doesn't want to select that inside part anymore because this stroke is now cutting it off. It's all one part of the image. Now, if I hit delete, now you see we're not missing any of the parts that we wanted to keep in the image, meaning that dark part inside where the, where the RAM is. Now, if we zoom in, we can go ahead and clean this up a little bit, just to get rid of some of these bigger areas here that we can, use the magic wand tool to correct. But I'm going to show you how to soften up this edge, smooth this edge out so that it will be a lot nicer for you without having to go through with the magic wand tool, because obviously if we were to add a stroke to this right now, it just would not look very good. Another thing I want to do is just get rid of this. I'll use the lasso tool. I just want to get rid of this altogether. So I will select this because it's just a small little stroke. It's gonna get in the way. So we're gonna get rid of that, and boom, we're good to go. Now, like I said, we are gonna soften this thing up so that we can. You know what else I want to get rid of? I also want to get rid of this part. There we go. And I don't know why it just looked like it was out of place to me. I'll go ahead and clean this up a little bit over here. There we go. Looks much better. Much, much better in my opinion. So now we've got this part. First, before anything, before we fix the spelling down here, I'm going to show you how to soften up this image, soften the edges. That way, it'll look a lot nicer when you bring it into TeamBuilder. So we're going to select this, and then we are going to hold down Command or Control on our keyboard. And if you see, if I let go of Command and then hold Command again, you'll see it'll give us this little dotted line thing over top of the actual thumbnail down here in the Layers panel. I'm going to click the image while holding Command, click the thumbnail right there, and boom, it selects everything, right? If we had done that before, it would have selected the entire outside of the image as well. But now that we've gotten rid of that outer dark part, the background, it's just selecting the Aggie, logo itself. Now what we're going to do is we are going to go back to the selection tool, the rectangular marquee tool, and now you're going to see this option at the top called select and mask. We're going to click on that. So if you go over here to view mode, this is where the trick comes in. If you go to view mode, you're going to have all these different view modes, but this one, to soften things out, we're going to choose black and white. Yes, because that way we are going to be able to see the edges a lot better, right? Now, this panel over here is where we are going to do our work. You're going to go through and refine these things, and I'm going to show you exactly what to do here. So now, your image is going to be a little different than mine, but the first thing we're going to do is we're going to shift this edge down, right? We're going to shift it down, and when we're shifting it down, you'll see it is actually shifting it inward. If we shifted it up, it would shift it outward, but we're going to shift it down to shift the edge inward just a bit, and then we're also going to feather the edge slightly. Right? You don't want to feather it too much, right? If you feather it too much, it's going to look too soft. We just want to feather it a little bit and then smooth it a little bit as well, right? And then so you can already see where we're going with this. Then you just add a little bit of contrast. You add this contrast slider here just to add some sharpness back into it a bit, right? And that's just going to make it a little sharper, but it's going to get rid of the jagged edges that are on your logo. So this looks about right. This looks pretty much perfect to me. Now I'm going to hit OK. And now that we're back out here, it's got our selection that we use in the select and mask area. But what we're going to do, we don't want to obviously hit delete because we want to go down here to invert the selection. Yes, we want to invert this to get rid of anything that's outside of our, detected edges there. So we hit invert, boom, delete, and then now we've got completely smoothed out edges, and I'm going to show you exactly what there was a couple little parts down here that we probably wanted to get rid of, and I saw these. Yep, this part here, we want to get rid of this. You can barely see it. Actually, you know what? Let me put a black background behind it so you guys can see it better what I'm talking about. So now if I zoom in, you'll see it's very, very, very subtle, but you can see just this little line out here, and we're just going to get rid of this using the lasso tool, right? Boom. Whoops, I had the rectangle selected. We actually want to select our Aggie, get rid of that, and I'll even, for good measure, just select a little bit more just in case it went out a little further. And then up here, there was another one. Yeah, see this little thing here. And we're only getting rid of these because, again, if we wanted to add like a stroke or something, we don't want this to be there. So we're going to get rid of that, and boom. Now we are left with a very, very clean looking Aggie. I'll hide that rectangular background there, and boom. Now we have smoothed out those edges to make them basically perfect, and I'll show you exactly what I mean by that. Now if I add a stroke, no matter what color, I size that stroke up. Now you actually see smooth edges on that stroke. So now we have our smooth edges, and now we can go ahead and zoom in on this, Aggie's text here, and we can fix this. Now, obviously, you guys know that we're working with a rasterized image, so it's not like we could just go in and double-click and edit the text, but I'm going to show you a method that you can use here. Make sure that you've got your shape selected. It says shape 1 now because we merged the 2 layers earlier, but, we could always go in and rename that to Aggies. It doesn't really matter, but make sure you've got the Aggies layer selected. We are going to go in and we're going to remove this eye right here. And again, this applies to basically any AI image that you bring in. You can use this method. Obviously, this won't be the exact same thing that you're going to do because yours is going to look different than this. But we're going to select it with the lasso tool, or you could use the pen tool. I'm just more comfortable with the lasso tool, like I always say. And then we are going to go to fill, right? We right click. Let me do that again because I might have lost you guys there. Right click and go to fill. And then, obviously, color is what we're going to want. And we are going to, you could use content aware and it might work, but we're just going to use a color for this one. And we're just going to click right next to this area right here to get the exact color and fill it in, and boom. And now, if it's not perfect, you could even take the smudge tool and then literally just go through here and kind of smudge this up so that it kind of blends in a little bit better, right? And that's just for the perfectionist in you if you choose to do that, because we're going to be covering that area up, so it doesn't matter a whole lot. Now, the next thing I want to do is this. I'm going to select this eye, right? And then you're going to see the trick here, right? We've got this eye selected. I'm going to copy and paste. I'm going to hit Command or Control C, then Command or Control V, and boom, it's going to add a new layer over here where if I hide the Aggies, it's just going to give us that eye. And I'm going to take that eye and move it over a bit and go back to my selection, Make sure you have the Aggie selected. In fact, I'll hide this other eye for now. Make sure you hide that eye, your new eye that you just copied and pasted. And now select this one. And we are going to fill this one in. Make sure you don't get any of the E or any of the other letters, whatever letters you're working with. Going to go to fill color, and do the same thing. Just select the nearest color and fill that one in and get rid of that eye. So now we've gotten rid of both eyes, and now we have this eye that's on a completely separate layer, okay? This eye on a completely separate layer. So I'm going to move it right about there. Looks good, right? And now, because you're going to see here in a second what I'm about to do. Now, I am going to take the move tool, select that eye, hold shift, and I'm going to make this just a little wider, right? Just a little bit wider, and just tweak this until you think it looks good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the E and do the exact same thing. And now what you'll see, if I select this E, hold shift, and boom, pull this out just a little bit. And again, if you don't have this bounding box here, around your, whatever you have selected, just hit this up here, show transform controls, and you'll be able to see, this bounding box to select to, move or resize your whatever you have selected. Now, as you can see, we've corrected it without really having to do, a whole lot of anything other than move these letters around, and it still looks pretty natural. You know what I mean? It doesn't look like we've messed with anything, but we've got the correct spelling now. And you can use this exact same method for any AI images that you have. Now, of course, if it messes up really, really bad, you might have to actually just remove all of this and then put your own text in there, right? And let's say if I did want to put my own text in there, Aggies, the best way for you to do this is to try to find a text that matches pretty closely, right? So, let's say let me see if I can find something just on the fly here. So I'll separate the A from the, GGIES, because obviously we want to make the A a little bit bigger. And then what we can do is we can, go ahead and select both of these, make them both white, just like the, text is right here. And the best way to do this is to just put them, where they're supposed to be. I'll do it outside of the logo because we're not actually going to change anything. But you'll see here, all we have to do to make, I'll use the A as an example. If I just wanted this A to conform to this inner part here, all I would do, in fact, just to make it easier, I'm going to remove this A. All right, so I've removed that A. The best thing for you to do here, if you needed to replace any of the letters with your own, is to just try to get it about as close as you can, right? And then now, what we're going to do, just to get the size right here, if we can, just as close to right as possible, and get it as near as you can to the right place. Now, once you have it in a reasonable place, you're going to come over here to this A, right click, and then we're going to hit rasterize type. You can't see it. It's kind of off screen right now, but there is an option there that says rasterize type. Once we've done that, we're going to click on one of these little boxes here on the outside. All you got to do is click. Don't resize anything, because then that's going to bring this up. This is going to be warp mode. If you click that, now watch what we can do. Now we can start moving this A around to actually conform to this logo better than it is, right? And I can bring it down here. I can do this. Just, basically just mess with this. You can see what I'm doing here. You're just going to mess with this until it looks how you want it to look, right? And even though you may not get it 100% perfect, you're going to get it to look a lot better than it would if you had like a misspelled, letter in there. So I just literally used the warp tool and replaced that A on the fly. And you can even add in the little inner shadows. And again, using the pen tool, let's say if I, really wanted to do that, I would come down here on a separate layer and go like this, just add a new layer, use the pen tool, and then just take and draw like this. Make a shape like this. And of course, again, you can refine this, to your liking. I'm just kind of speeding through this right now just to show you what you can do with this. And what we're going to do here is we're going to do no stroke. And then for the fill, I'm going to have to actually select the gray that's in here. Go back to the pen tool for the fill. Boom. And then you can see how you can get a very similar type of, shading or shadows on the A as what we had on the other one, right? Just by using the pen tool. And again, these are just methods that you can use with your, your AI logos to make them, more personal, or to make them right if they have the wrong spelling or something like that. So, again, apply these same methods to your images and they will look a lot nicer before you go to import them into TeamBuilder. Now, of course, the video would not be complete if I didn't give you guys an in-game reveal of the team. So here it is right here. PJ's creation, the ACSU Aggies, and man, it looks really, really good. Just shows you guys what you can do, with an AI image if you just, edit it down a bit and, make it your own. Make it the way that you want it to look. And, of course, I brought us into a bowl game so that we could get that, walk out onto the field and all that. So, but here you go, man. Hope that you guys like it. I think it looks really, really great. But I hope that this helped you, man. I just wanted to throw this together real quick because I was getting a lot of questions about this type of stuff. Again, man, so much love to everybody that has been supporting lately. The support has been absolutely incredible. Thank you, boys, so much for everything, man. You guys are the best. So much more to come. As I always say, man, we got so much more coming. So many more plans for, not only college football, but for Madden and 2K25. Can't wait for all of that, man. But again, man, much love to all of you guys. If you're not subscribed, consider sticking around and joining the family because, again, man, a lot of exciting stuff coming. If you did learn something in this video, consider giving it a like, man. And, yeah, we'll be back real soon with more, and I'll catch you boys in the next one.